Hey folks, I'm Brendan and you're watching the Overqualified Henchman. So I went to see a movie with a bunch of friends Thursday night and I thought maybe you'd be interested in hearing my thoughts about it. That's right, it's the Overqualified Henchman's review of Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice! I'm going to start off this video by trying to avoid talking about anything that wasn't already spoiled in the trailers. Then, after a spoiler warning, I'll get into some more specifics. I should probably say up front that I really did not like Man of Steel, and in a lot of ways, Batman v Superman is more of the same. I think Henry Cavill does a good job conveying the power and presence of Superman, but for the most part, he's just emotionless, stone-faced. Can't be bothered to care about anything except Lois and maybe his parents, and it's not endearing.
So many people have died as a direct result of your actions, Clark. That just seems like something we should talk about.
Okay, I'm acknowledging your concerns, but what if instead of doing that, we made out in the bathtub for a while, huh? Then we've got Ben Affleck's new take on Batman, which I think worked on a lot of levels. The idea of a Batman who's this experienced and this jaded is a really interesting contrast to a much younger, newer Superman, and I was excited to see how that contrast played out. Unfortunately, the movie seems to keep forgetting that this is a Batman who's been around for a while, and characters keep talking about him like he's only appeared recently.
Perry, why aren't we reporting on this Bat vigilante in Gotham?
You mean the same Batman who's been active since you were in elementary school, Clark? I know, maybe you could write a piece on Pokemon, too. You could... Wait. Do you think I'm Lawrence Fishburne? Mother... The other big shakeup here is that this is a Batman who is much more okay with the idea of killing. That's a pretty big departure from most versions of Batman, and it didn't really work for me. But I can appreciate that the plot of the movie required a Batman who was willing to cross that line. I felt like this was another missed opportunity, though, because we've got a Batman who's okay with killing, and a Superman who's pretty okay with killing himself, and there's just no contrast. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, though, yes! I want to talk about her more, but I'm going to come back to it. One of the friends I went to see it with pointed out that a lot of the shots could have been yanked right out of a comic book panel, and that's true. People have given the Captain America Civil War trailer sort of a hard time because of that airport scene that's supposed to look like a big comic book splash page, but ends up being mostly empty space. Batman v Superman does not have that problem. The problem it does have is how those shots are strung together. A word I think you're going to hear a lot in regards to this movie is disjointed. It's hard to follow as it rapidly jumps from scene to scene, and there's at least 4 different dream sequences that don't match in style and have nothing to do with each other. I've heard the argument that this is supposed to mimic a comic book too, but I don't buy that. When you're reading a comic book, you can spend as much time as you like on each panel, on each scene. That's not how movies work. Another word I think should go right along with disjointed is unrelenting. Almost every scene is played as a dramatic reveal, and the score is almost nothing but power chords. Bruce Wayne drives his car, then arrives at party. Clark Kent sees Bruce Wayne. Awkward handshake, awkward handshake. In a lot of ways, this felt like it had been cut together like a 2.5-hour long trailer, and by the end of it, I was exhausted. Just about the only thing given time to develop and breathe in the movie was Wonder Woman. She's in maybe half a dozen scenes and has about as many lines, but each time we see her, it piques interest a little more. When she finally shows up in her armor, it was about the only time the theater reacted, but man did it react. Let me see if I can pronounce this correctly. Yes, Diana, you look so good, yes! And after nothing but power chords for like 2 hours, practically just through body language and expression, Gadot totally sells this version of Diana. If you really do think of it as a 2.5-hour long trailer for Justice League, I guess it works, because I want to see Justice League.
The spoilers are coming, the spoilers are coming.
We're going to get into spoiler territory. So for me, the most unintentionally hilarious moment of the movie was Bruce Wayne decrypting Lex Luthor's files on metahumans. Each one of them has a character's logo on it. Thing is, they don't have those logos in the footage Lex has collected. That implies he either went to LexCorp's graphic designs department or created those logos on his own. Then we get to watch Bruce Wayne very intently watching teaser trailers for the other Justice League members.
Did you know they're making a Flash movie? Forward, 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 forward. Hilarious video from your Uncle Lex. Bruce, this is how we get viruses.
It looks like it's gonna be off the chain.
Why are you writing everything in size 24 font and putting every sentence on a new line? You were so old.
It was also a little hard to take the "our moms have the same name" scene seriously.
Must save Martha. Why are you saying that name? Stop saying the name.
It's his mother's name. They're going to kill her.
What? They're gonna kill your mommy? I hate that. That's my thing I hate. We're like bros now, bro. I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
Hey Siri, search for world's finest slash fiction.
The real problem here, and I'm sure everyone noticed this, Bruce just leaves the kryptonite spear there. The worst part being that the entire climactic fight scene hinges on that.
They just leave it there. I don't... Why?
Okay, I could spend a lot more time picking apart this movie, but let's just bottom line it. There were a lot of scenes and moments that I actually really liked in Batman v Superman, but ultimately, it felt like the script needed another few passes, and it all just died on the editing room table. If you're on the fence, I think you can probably afford to wait until this one hits Netflix. Until next time, keep on henching. Luckily, it's nighttime, so downtown is completely empty, because that's how cities work.